Hi and welcome to Skein Studio. My name is Kristen. Hope you're all doing really well. Today is Thursday and I'm coming to you from the studio here in Coffs Harbour. This is our dye studio. This is the front room which will eventually become the showroom slash yarn store. Yeah, what was I going to say? It's really early and I am still obviously waking up. I have a cup of coffee, but I thought I'd get in here early and get a podcast out before we started our day. I have a bit of a croaky voice today, I don't know why. I think it's just allergies. But yes, I am, apart from the croaky throat, I am really well. I have been doing lots of dyeing, in fact loads and loads of dyeing. I have quite a few things coming up which I need to get yarn sorted for. Just wait one sec. Oh god, sorry. Yeah, so yes, I've been very busy and it's been great. I mean, I don't mind being busy. I've never ever been the type of person to sit still, so for me it's good, but I am feeling tired today and I need to, I've learnt with myself anyway, I need to be aware of when my body tells me I need to stop for a bit, because if I keep going I end up getting sick. And yes, so I am taking today, not off, but I've got a quieter day planned for myself, which is nice. I'm just sort of going to skein up some yarns and label them and just do this podcast, which I really love doing, and just have a bit of a quiet day. And then tomorrow, Friday, I've decided to have the day off, so that'd be really nice. But yeah, I've got quite a few things to talk about. I'll just get my notes up, which I've put on my phone. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is my finished object, which I am wearing. So I finished the Hipster Shawl by Locatelli. I love this so much. This is it here. I knit this out of our worsted weight. It's called Winter, which is our worsted, in the Neptune colourway, which is this sort of really nice, very deep, saturated teal colour, and it's so nice and warm. Today we're in winter now. As you can tell, being in Coffs Harbour, winter is during the day, usually maybe a light jumper. You can walk around in t-shirts. A lot of people would consider this spring or summer, but yeah, it doesn't get that cold here. But it is a bit chilly here in the studio at the moment. Like I said last week, it gets really cold when we come in the morning, but then during the day it warms up in here. So I always need a shawl or just something light to snuggle up in. But yes, I love knitting this. Well, actually, I'll tell you a funny story. So I didn't have any major issues knitting this. I did at the beginning stuff up a couple of times, which I talked about last week, and I had to rip back. But I was going so well, and then I hit the very last repeat, and which is the what do you call it, stitch pattern down the bottom, this section here. And what you need to do on the first row of the stitch pattern is triple yarn overs, and then on the second row, that's where you cross the stitches and you do all the fancy sort of patterning work. But what I must have been anxious to get, well, not anxious, but I must have been hurrying to finish the shawl, and my triple yarn overs, I'm a tight knitter anyway, but my triple yarn overs was so tight on the way back that I could barely get the stitches onto the needle to work them. It was terrible. Like, it was so bad I broke a needle trying to get the stitches on, and it took me, I would say, an hour to work that one row. it was terrible. My fingers hurt so much. I couldn't really even rip it back because I couldn't get the stitches on the needle. I mean, I did, but I had to really force them on. And yes, the thought of ripping back and doing it again just didn't appeal. Oh, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Yes, so I just powered on through and I got it done, and yeah, it wasn't fun, I'll tell you that. But yes, I got it done, and then I went to bind. I actually bound off using the stretchy bind off that's in the pattern, and then when I was attaching the tassels down the bottom, I noticed that during the bind off I had dropped a stitch. So there was this stitch just kind of hanging there, and I ended up just getting a spare piece of yarn and sort of threading it through and anchoring it. So yeah, I had a few issues at the very end. Nothing to do with the pattern at all. It was just me probably not really being aware of what I was doing, because I was watching something on, I think I was watching podcasts, so I wasn't really taking much time to think about what I was doing, and yeah, I almost completely screwed it up. But in saying that, I'm really happy. I would definitely knit this again. I won't knit another one this year, but I think next year I'll knit another one of these in another colour. It's so lovely. It's huge. The shawl is massive. Oh, and that's the other thing I wanted to say. Last week I was saying I wasn't sure if I was going to use 4 skeins of yarn. I absolutely did, and the tassels take a lot of yarn. So I put tassels on. The pattern says to attach them just below every hole. I don't know what to call those, eyelets? They're not really eyelets, or I suppose they are. Which is what I did, and by the time I'd finished attaching the tassels, I had maybe 10 grams, between 5 to 10 grams left of the last ball. So that is incredible, 4 skeins of yarn. I mean, I know worsted doesn't have a lot of yardage, but yes, I was quite amazed at how much yarn this took. I really like this shawl also because the eyelets tend to make the shawl a lot wider, which is great. You can wear it like this, or even if you scrunch it up, the eyelets sort of smush up, and you can easily wear it as kind of a cowly, what do you call it, scarf. So yeah, it's such a nice finished object. And I know Hohi is in the process of designing a hipster cowl, and I can't wait for that to come out. I will knit that when that comes out. So yeah, this is the Hipster Shawl by Hohi Locatelli. There's been 1,000,001 projects. It's very popular, and I can see why. It's such a good finished object. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about that. Yep, no, I don't have any other finished objects. I'm going into my whips now. So I have been working on the Mount Juliet shawl by Helen Stewart. I haven't done a huge amount on this shawl because I've been trying to finish the Hipster. But when I picked this shawl up the other day to knit on it, I realised I had made a massive mistake. And I don't even know how I even did that. Okay, so this is it, the Mount Juliet shawl. So it's basically alternating between this very simple lace stitch to you do a ribbing and then garter. And then as I went on, instead of doing garter, I ended up doing stockinette stitch here, and then I did it again for this repeat, and I don't know why I did that. I mean, I much prefer to knit garter stitch than stockinette stitch, so I don't understand how I even did that. I'm not going to rip it back. I'm just going to leave it and then just continue on doing the garter stitch. I mean, it's not like it's really noticeable because the yarn is quite busy, so it's not going to matter too much. I'm using one's a top drawer sock and the other one's Uptown sock. So the blue is Sea Mist, and that's in the Uptown, which is a single ply. And then the golden colour is called Golden Hour, and that's in our top drawer sock. So for those people who are a bit worried about mixing bases, it's fine. As long as the weight is similar and they're almost the same blend of yarn or composition of fibres, then it's not really going to be a problem. And these are both, one is 100% merino, the other one's got a little bit of nylon in it, but they knit up beautifully together. So yeah, I am hoping to get more of this done. I have a bit of a deadline for this, but I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I will be knitting on this on the weekend because my other whip, which is the Weekender sweater by Andrea Mowry, is almost done. So this is it here. Oops. Yep, that's right. It's humongous. I have tried it on. It fits really, really well. I've just almost finished the first sleeve. I've just started the ribbing for the cuff. Who does this? Anyone else? I love doing this with putting my markers on each decrease, because then it's so easy just to count. I don't have to keep tally of what I'm doing. I just count my rows to the next decrease. I find it really, really good. And I know a lot of people do actually do that. And it's also good too because you can make sure your other sleeve is equal. So say for the end here, when I finish the decreases, I can just put my tape measure up against that last marker and measure how much extra I need to do on the next sleeve. So yeah, it's really handy. So yes, it's almost done. What did I want to say? Oh, so the original that is knit by Andrea Mowry is done, I'm pretty sure it's a Brooklyn tweed yarn, which is, it has a lot more structure. So I'm knitting this out of our worsted, winter worsted, so it's the same yarn as this that I use for the shawl, which is 100% superwash. Now, I'm pretty sure that the Brooklyn tweed is a lot more airier, as in the yarn is quite airy, which is is it worsted spun or woolen spun, I think. So it's quite light, but yet when you knit it, it's got quite a structure. So the superwash is a lot heavier and it is going to stretch. And when I put it on, I realized that it still looks great. And I mean, if you're going to use a superwash, that's fine. But it doesn't have that nice sort of, like from what I can see in the picture, hers sits really nicely, like a structure. Mine drapes quite a lot. And I can see that it's going to stretch quite a lot, which I know that with superwash anyway. So maybe if you're going to knit this, just be aware that it is going to stretch and that you may not need to knit as long as what she suggests in the pattern. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this sweater when I block it out and wear it. I don't own a dryer because we don't really need dryers here where I live. Yeah, we just never would use it, so I can't really shrink it back up. But I'm pretty sure if I gave it a good wash, like after wearing it, if it does stretch, if I wash it and re-block it each time, I'm pretty sure I can fix it back into shape. But anyway, we will see. I'll keep you posted on that. But yeah, really nice pattern. My yarn's caught there a little bit. The stitches sort of come unplied. But yes, really nice to knit. The bodies seem to take forever because it is quite a oversized sweater, so you do have quite a lot of stitches on your needles, and it did take quite a while to do a row. But yeah, once I split for the sleeves, it went really quickly. I mean, 1 inch is like 2 or 3 rows, so yeah, it just seemed to go really fast. So yeah, really enjoying this. It's going to be really nice to wear. It's very thick and lovely. I have a boxy sweater in worsted, and I really like that. The only thing that I found with my boxy sweater is that the ribbing down below, the pattern has you knit, I think it's like 2 inches or maybe 1.5 inches of ribbing, and unfortunately that curls on itself, and if I had have done it just a little bit longer, I wouldn't have done that. But I am thinking of knitting another boxy. Again, that was a really good pattern because it was really fast. So I might do that again and do a longer hem. But of course this hem is perfect. It's, I can't remember how many inches that is, 2, maybe 2.5. The colour is our Close to Me colourway. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. I really enjoy it, and I should have this finished next time I talk to you. So yeah, that's that. Now I have a sip of my coffee. What else? So I have a few plans, project plans. I am dying to cast on for the Love Note by Tegna Knits, which is a really pretty fingering weight knit with fingering and mohair together, top down sweater. I'm pretty sure it's a yoke sweater, and it has this really pretty lace pattern around the top. I really want to knit that. I can't get it out of my head. And I have 2 colours that I want to knit it in. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was looking, actually I updated my Ravelry projects, and I realised my colour choices don't sort of vary a lot. It's always, well actually I've been knitting a lot with blue lately, blue and purple and pink. So I thought I need to really get out of this and choose a colour that I don't knit with. And I think we all tend to fall into that. We have a few colours that we know we love and we kind of just stick to it. But it is a lot of fun just to explore other colours, and it's sort of, yeah, it's just a lot of, it makes your knitting a lot more fun when you're knitting with something you're not quite used to. So I don't normally knit with green, and I don't dislike green. I like green quite a lot. I just don't tend to wear it a lot. I do wear obviously teal, but I kind of consider teal more blue than green. So with the Love Note pattern, I don't have the yarn here because I haven't dyed it up, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this colour, which is a new colour of ours. It's called Arctic Moss. I love that. See, that's the thing with colour too. If you don't normally use knit with certain colours, like say you're not really interested in orange, you might find I mean there's so many hues and tones of orange, it's incredible. I mean there is something there that you must love. I mean all colours have a warm and a cool tone to them, and you know normally people tend to lean towards either warm or cool. It sort of depends on your skin type or what you prefer to wear. I usually like wearing cool tones. Funnily enough, the green that I chose is not cool toned. But say for instance if you're not really keen on orange, you might actually like knitting with a rusted orange or a peachy orange. I mean, there's just so many colours to choose from. It is good just to step out of your comfort zone and work with other colours. So I'm going to work with this. So this is, yeah, like I said, Arctic Moss. I'm going to use this as the fingering weight, and then I'm going to pair it with this colour, which is a new one as well, called Nordic Woodlands. So this will be the mohair. So these together, I'm going to knit that sweater with these. I think it's going to look really pretty. I know when you work with mohair with another yarn, it's always nice to choose a darker mohair because it sort of fluffs up and hides the bright colour underneath, so you can sort of just see little pops of brighter colour coming through. And the sweater that was knit by Lovey and Amy, for that pattern, she did that. She used a rust colour, which was quite a bright rust, and then I think she used a brown mohair on top, and you can see just the little bits of the rust shining through, and it looks really pretty. So that's my plans for coming up. I am going to dye, once I finish my weekender, which will be very soon, actually I might dye the yarn up today while I'm here, and then I'll have it ready to go. And then I'm going to, yeah, cast on for the Love Note pattern. The other pattern that I have in my queue that I've been wanting to knit for a while, hang on, sorry, my throat is just so croaky today. Yes, the other pattern that I have in my queue to knit is the Caitlin Hunter Tegna, and I've been wanting to knit that for such a long time, and we're actually planning to go away on holidays in September. We're heading over to Greece. It's actually a family get-together with Paul's family, so I'm going to be taking that, I think, with me. I'm not sure how I'm going to go with the lace, because you start with the lace at the bottom. So yes, it's got a hem of lace, and then the rest is pretty much all stockinette. But I know when I'm on airplanes, I tend to just like knitting something easy. So I don't know if that's the one I'm going to take with me or not. But in any case, I am going to cast one on. And what I really want to knit it in is our Daintree sock, which I don't think, I'm trying to think, no, I don't think I've actually knit, I'm trying to think, no, I don't think I've knit anything in the Daintree yarn yet. So it's a good sample for here, for the shop, but also I really want it to knit, I really want to knit it and I want to wear it. I don't have the colour here because we sold out of it. Just one sec, actually I'll go and grab it. Okay, so what I really want to knit it in, the colour, is this one. It's the henna blush. So I posted this colour, I actually posted, it was brand new, last week I posted it, and it just went nuts. Everybody wanted it. It's such a beautiful colour. It's henna blush. It's blushy with a brown sort of overtone. It's really, really pretty. I love this so much. So I am going to be knitting this colour on our Daintree base, which is this one. So Daintree base has a mix of bamboo silk. It's actually merino silk and bamboo, and I'll talk about it a little bit because it's a yarn that we're featuring this week. But I really want to knit with it. I want to knit Tegna in this colour. So yes, I'll be dyeing that up soon. Does anybody have any good ideas for a pattern to take away that is either a cardigan or a sweater that only takes at the most 3 skeins? Because our idea is, well, what we're planning to do is we're going to Greece for 3 weeks. We have a week with family, and then we have it's a little bit over 2 weeks to ourselves. And we've been to Greece quite a few times. and we've hired motorbikes every single time we've been there in different areas that we've been. But this time we found a motorcycle hire place in Athens, and they allow you to tour like the whole of Greece. You can even take it into Albania, you can take it on a ferry to Italy, you can do it, like you can take it everywhere. So we have hired a bike for 2 weeks, and what we plan to do is, because we've seen a lot of Greece, we've seen a lot of the islands, but where we haven't been is the west coast and up north to where the Albanian border is, so going up into the mountains. So that is what we've decided to do, and we're going to do it all on a motorbike. And we've pretty much planned to, we've booked our first night, and then after that we're just going to ride, and we have an idea of where we want to go, yeah, we're just going to find accommodation as we go. Anyway, what was I saying? Alright, yes. So I'm not taking luggage. All I am taking is a very, very small hiking backpack. So not one of those big backpacks that you see, you know, people touring the world in. It's just a very, very small backpack, and I am taking a tiny amount of clothing. It's going to be fun. I love traveling, but I hate taking luggage. I hate it so much. I hate getting off the plane, having to wait for your bags. All I want to do is just go, like get on my way and get out of the airport and start. And also, you know, when you're traveling from hotel to hotel and you've got bags, oh, it's so annoying. So it's going to be really nice to travel super light. So I need a project. I don't want to take socks because I will have them finished by the time we hit Greece. I'll finish them on the plane. Like, I can knit through socks really quickly. So something that's 3 skeins. I'm a small size, so I can squeeze cardigans and jumpers, particularly if they're fingering weight, out of 3 skeins of yarn, no problems. Not if they're long sleeve, that's short sleeved. So I mean, Tegna would be perfect. But yes, I'm not sure about that lace section at the beginning. I mean, I'm pretty good with lace, so I might be okay. But if you have any suggestions, please write it in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Yeah, let me know. The other pattern that came out today, actually, I think it was today, or was it last night? Can't remember. Hey, I'll just have a sip of coffee. Is the Once and Floral sweater by Max Cyr. I think it's Cyr. It's C-Y-R. Max C M-A-X-C-Y-R. Anyway, I'll put it in the show notes. It's such a wonderful sweater. I saw his version, but what actually got me really excited for it was the sweater that was knit by, what's her name? Yes, it was the sweater knit by Republic of Wool. This one here. I saw that and I just fell in love immediately. I am dying to knit this sweater, and yeah, I really love colour work. It's something that I'm just sort of getting into at the moment. Obviously everybody's into it. It has taken me a little while. I tend to like projects that I can just pick up and knit and not have to think about. But yeah, with colour work, I'm not there yet. I do need to have a bit of quiet time and focus on what I'm doing. But this is just stunning. I love it. I think it's going to be such a nice project. So I bought that as soon as it came out. It does use fingering weight wool, and I'm pretty sure it's only 3 colours. So it's just the yoke section. The pattern itself, and I'll put a picture up while I'm talking about it, is actually designed and inspired by the character David in Schitt's Creek. Now, I heard so many people talk about this in podcasts that I was really intrigued by it, and a lot of people said, oh, you know, they binged watched it and it's so good, and I thought I'd give it a go, and it is so funny. All of the characters that are in it, if you haven't seen it, please check it out. It's really good. I binge watched it too. I watched all the seasons in, I think it was like a week. Yeah, and the guy who who was the inspiration for this sweater, David, he is this young sort of, he used to work in an art gallery, and he wears all these flamboyant sweaters. Yeah, so it is definitely a David sweater. But yes, I absolutely love it. Even I love his character too, so that's a connection there that I really like too. But yeah, the sweater itself, and particularly the one that was knit by Republic of Wool, it just blew my mind, and I thought, yep, that's my next project. So we'll be thinking about that. That's going to be, so I'm going to definitely cast on Love Notes first, Tegna second, and then I'm going to start thinking about what colours I want to knit my Once and Floral in. Just a couple of podcasts that I've been watching and binge watching. So I heard about Cady Jax Knits from Sandy by the Lakeside, and I like hearing, when I watch podcasts that I really love, I love her podcast. I tend to like to see what they are enjoying because they're people that I really enjoy watching. So when people recommend podcasts, I do often stop my podcast, I search for it and then watch them. And yes, I'm so glad I found Cady and Jax. It's two friends, and they have such a lovely relationship. It's almost like two sisters that apparently they've known each other for a very long time, 20 years or so. And they're really lovely to watch. I really, really enjoyed it. The other podcasts that I really like, and I found these women through Christy Glass Knits. She did an interview with them. That's another podcast. I love Christy Glass. There's just so many. Chelsea Pearls is another one. But anyway, this is a new one to me. It's called Tales from Yarnia. And it's three women who own a yarn store in Montclair, New Jersey, and the yarn store is called Yarnia. And funnily enough, I did a search because I couldn't remember where in America the yarn store was, and I found that Australia has a Yarnia yarn store as well. But yeah, that was really good. I've been watching them too, and I binge watched all of them, so I'm now waiting for the next one to come out. So yeah, hopefully you can check them out, and if you have any suggestions for podcasts, please let me know. I watch lots of them, and I always enjoy hearing new suggestions, so yeah, let me know. So finally, I want to talk about some shop news, shop update stuff. If you're not interested, that's totally fine. I'll see you next time. But I just wanted to talk about the yarn that we have in stock this week. We have two. We've got a yarn in stock, and we're also doing pre-order for our Bliss DK. I spoke about this henna blush that I put on the shop last week. It was a huge hit, and lots of people wanted to order this in a DK, and I was getting lots of emails for custom orders, which I was doing custom orders, but I've been so busy I haven't been able to accept them. So what I thought I'd do was pick a selection of colours that have been really popular and put them up. I think there's 16 colours in total for the Bliss DK, and did I speak about Bliss last week? I can't remember, it was one of the podcasts. Anyway, it's the Merino Cashmere blend. It's really, really nice to knit and to wear. So yeah, that will be going up on Friday, but also I have a yarn in the shop that's ready to ship, because some people, custom dyes usually take about 4 weeks, but yeah, and a lot of people don't like to wait that long. Some people just like to buy now, which is fine, I totally get that. I'm a little bit like that too. So yes, I decided to dye up for this week the Daintree yarn, which is it's thicker fingering weight, almost verging onto sport. So it's 350 meters, which is 380 yards, of 65% superwash merino, 20% bamboo, and 15% silk. It's incredibly silky and drapey. As you can see, it dyes up beautifully. It just has this luster and sheen. It's such a lovely yarn. Now the thing is, I dye my yarns with protein reactive dye, which means that it dyes anything animal based, protein based. So wool, silk, anything like that comes from an animal, it will dye, but it doesn't dye the bamboo. So this has a small amount of bamboo in it. Well, actually it's not that small, it's 20%. So what happens is, on the darker colours, actually I'll get another colour in another yarn and I'll be able to compare them. So I thought I had another base, but I don't. I've dyed so many yarns, I just can't remember what I've done. So the bamboo doesn't take up the dye. So what you get, and I don't know if it's going to focus, but it's a very heathered looking yarn. You have these little white or light patches where the bamboo is. And yeah, it's really nice. I like it. It's, yeah, like I said, it's kind of very heathered sort of look. It's not a flat, well, I wouldn't say flat, but it's not well covered. No, that doesn't even make sense. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just heathered. Tweedy maybe. So yeah, it's sort of a unique look. It knits up really, really nicely. So it's really good for shawls. I don't know if I would use this for socks. I don't know how well it would hold up. It does have bamboo and silk both wear really well. So I've never actually knit socks with these. I should give it a go and see how they hold up. But yes, very nice for shawls, even nicer for tops, and particularly summer or spring tops or cardigans. It's beautiful. So we've had Libby Johnson, who is a New Zealand designer. She's designed two beautiful garments with this yarn. One of them was Timely cardigan, which is a striping, really pretty, very simple cardigan. And then the other one that she designed is the Itsumo cardigan. Again, very simple, beautiful, and both very, very drapey and both very popular, because to this day I'm still getting emails from people who are wanting to knit Timely cardigan and are after the yarn for it. The other couple of suggestions that I have are the Cullum top by Isabell Kraemer. Yes, it's Cullum top by Isabell Kraemer, which is a very simple tee again, and it has a really nice lace detail up the top. It would drape beautifully for that. I think it would be such a nice yarn to use for that project. The other one, which I have already mentioned that I'm going to be knitting, is the Tegna by Caitlin Hunter. Again, I think it would be really nice for that little tee, great for summer. And the other one is, it's another Caitlin Hunter design. It's the Marettimo sweater by Caitlin Hunter. So this one uses 3 different colours, one for the main and then 2 contrasts. Again, it would drape beautifully. There's a little bit of lace at the bottom. Yeah, it would be really perfect for that. So any sort of yeah, summery tops, tees, cardigans, this yarn is really, really nice for. And I've dyed up a little selection. So I've got a few brights and a few darks. And the reason why I did that was if you are thinking of doing timely sweater, which uses 2 colours, or the Caitlin Hunter design that has the 3 contrasts, I always find having darker colours with a bright is, they match really nicely. So for instance, let's have a look. This is rose gold, which has got the bright pinks and the oranges and the gold colour. If you pair that with a dark, what it does is it takes away the brightness of this, but it also brightens up the dark. Like they work really nicely together. There's also, I've got linseed, which is a really nice sort of a neutrally mossy sort of colour. Again, that works really well with a bright. I have honey, which is one of my favourite colours at the moment. That sort of caramelly yellow. And I have more, M-O-O-R, which is sort of like a purpley green. So they look really nice together. I have labyrinth, which is a purple and green. And I have apple blossom. I have Shiba Sakura and pink tourmaline, and I think the last one is air, which is a sort of a silvery blue. So yeah, they all go in the shop tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Always and forever. Our updates have been Friday. I do that so that, you know, you don't have to keep checking what time or what day updates are on. It's always the same day. It's Friday at 9 o'clock Sydney time. Yeah, it's always the same time. So yeah, they'll be going in the shop then. And I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. So hope you're all really well, and yeah, it's nice to speak to you guys. Always, it's so nice to always start my day with a podcast. It makes me feel really good. I will hopefully see you again, hopefully next week, depending on work and how busy I get. And yeah, take care, and I'll see you then. Bye.